Good morning. It is Tech for Senior. It is July 25th. It is episode 122. Wow. There we go. 122, Hewie. So
and growing.
And growing and growing. I'm already thinking about season 4. So anyway, life goes on. It is a hot, sunny day here in Comox on the West Coast. I expect all our West Coast friends will be having the same weather, but we have pretty hot weather coming. I may even have to turn on the air conditioning today. So we want to thank everyone for coming and being here today. I always say we get our enthusiasm off of your viewing. So the fact that there are 73 people here today on a hot July weekday in July is great. We really appreciate that. So thank you so much for coming. It is a lot of work making the videos and creating them, but we have a lot of fun doing that, and we know you appreciate it, so we enjoy it. We also have a show on Thursday, which is very, very popular now and growing greatly, and that is our Tech for Senior Live. And Greg had mentioned that earlier. He wants to come and listen, and I would encourage you to do so. It is broadcast not on Zoom, though, so don't come to our Zoom meeting. We see lots of people trying to log in on Thursday morning in Zoom because I get emails from everybody trying to log in, and nobody's there. It's not a Zoom meeting. We broadcast it through StreamYard, and it goes out to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. And there's a big red button on our web page, and you just click that, and it will take you to the correct place. So, and if you have problems with that, just let me know. And then we take that and we podcast that out to on Friday. So we actually have a podcast as well. And this week, Hewie, what are we doing this week?
We're going to learn about Chromebooks.
We are. Yes, we are indeed. So learning Chromebooks will be an hour after the our Tech for Senior live session, right?
Right. And you have to be registered for it. But if you are registered, you don't have to re-register.
Right. So it should be lots of fun. We're going to have a good time. We've been doing that for about 2 years now. So come and enjoy. If you have a Chromebook, you're thinking about a Chromebook. Their format's changed a bit this month. We're actually going to go over some Chromebook news, and we're going to actually do some news reviews of recent articles about Chromebooks as well, trying to give a more current view of what's happening with Chromebooks. Should be fun. We'll see how it works out. What do you think, Hewie?
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be good, and Bob will be there, I'm sure, and we'll have a good talk, and it should be a lot of fun. Our premiere service today, I put the link in the chat, and I'll put it again, is going to be, I'm going to start it out with personal air conditioners. Now, this is a hot well, I guess it's a hot topic. That's a bad way to put it, but it is pretty hot out there, so you might want to watch this. Now, and then, of course, and I'll come back to that in just a second. And of course, Dewey Kloos, who's here today, where he's going to be part of the show as well. And Dewey is going to talk on sleep trackers, and Hewie is going to talk on Drive for Desktop. And this is the change that occurred last year. And Greg, that message that you had popping up last week, and we talked a bit about that. This would be a good video for you to watch because it explains the whole situation and how and what's happening. So those are the 3 things that will be on our premiere service. Now, when I go to make these up, I always wonder how people will enjoy them. And I often ask Bob on what he thinks of the movies or the shows that we're going to do. So I want you to watch this. This is a little video clip on what Bob thinks of our personal air conditioner video today. So just let me show you this. And this is Bob's opinion of my video.
And confirmed at our traditional crab dinner that evening.
This production was done by Back End Technology, Ron Brown, and Steve Jordan. There you go.
Wow.
That stinks.
I am green, but envy.
There you go. I told you.
Oh, wow.
So you won't want to miss that one. It's a stinker, right, Bob?
Agree with you totally.
So that'll be on the the first video, and then the second two will follow that. So you won't want to miss that on our premiere service. Let's see how things are. I don't have a lot else to say. Hewie, how'd your week go? What's going on? You're getting ready for our big learning Chromebooks?
Yeah, we'll be sending out a reminder today with the link that you need. It's a unique link that because you're registered. If you don't get one, that means you're probably not registered and you need to do so. And you can get that link for the registration at the www.techforsenior.com, and make sure you're registered for it. And you'll get another reminder probably Wednesday evening, again with the link for Thursday. And so all you have to do is click on the link and it'll get you right into the meeting.
Great. Bob, how are you doing this week?
Fine. Trying to make sure I don't sweat to death. You
Yeah.
aren't the only one that's hot. We've been hovering around the 100 mark.
Wow. And Ray, where the heck did Ray go? Oh, there you are. Ray's just under me.
I'm here. I'm doing fine. It's even been hot in the mountains in the mid 90s, but right now it's 78. And the forecast this week is our monsoons every afternoon. So
Rain.
Yep.
And Bill in Oklahoma, hey, you haven't had any hurricanes or anything bad going on there?
No, just the heat, Ron. We're just, it's been hovering around 100 degrees almost a week or more. So
Right.
it's pretty hot.
Now, gadgets, do you have a personal air conditioner?
No, but I thought about that. So I'm going to have to change my my gadget for this week.
All right. Well, you watch the video. You got to watch the video. If you don't,
I'm going to watch the video. Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of cool. And Dewey, you're going to your is that your daughter's cabin? You're going to go you're having a big reunion?
Yes. Every year we have a close family reunion. There's about 15, 16 of us, and we gather from Wednesday through Sunday and have a great time at their so-called cabin, which is a 6,000 square foot home.
That's a cabin? That's bigger than my house.
So
there you go. All right. Well, we'll be talking more later. And then Mike Ungerman here, of course, and we're going to be talking about solar energy today, which is a good topic to be talking about today. Is it a solar day?
On hot sunny days, yes.
Yeah. Is it a solar day? I guess every day is a solar day in Florida, right?
Most days right now, at least until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon when the rains come.
Great. Okay, good. Well, we're all ready to go. Bob, can you take it away?
I sure can. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending July 22nd, 2022. Google ditches the app permission list from its Play Store. The permissions list in the Play Store has been replaced with a data safety section, providing users with information on the app's data collection and processing practices. Google has sped up the rollout of the data safety feature for Android apps on the Play Store. While announced in April, the feature appears to have completely replaced the app permissions list. The permissions list provided users with information on what app developers can do with their devices. The information was particularly useful for researchers looking into whether Android users don't consent to dangerous permissions. Read the whole story at Cyber News. Before we continue, Google has already reversed its decision and it has reinstated that item that they decided to remove. Cloudflare has named the botnet behind record-breaking DDoS attack. Cloudflare says that Mantis botnet is responsible for the 26 million requested per second HTTPS DDoS attack, the largest on record. Cloudflare claims the largest distributed denial of service attack was the work of a botnet the company dubbed Mantis. The name alludes to a mantis shrimp, a small yet powerful crustacean. Similarly, the Mantis bot operates a small fleet of approximately 5,000 bots, but with them can generate a massive force, responsible for the largest HTTP DDoS attacks we have ever observed, Cloudflare says. According to the company, a few thousand bots generating 26 million HTTPS requests per second is an astounding capability given the relatively small size of the botnet. Moreover, the attack was carried over HTTPS. See more at Cyber News. Metaverse fears, scams, and detachment from reality. The excitement accompanying the metaverse goes hand in hand with serious concerns. How can we ensure it's safe, and how do we not lose ourselves in the digital realm? Projected to be a 760 billion business by 2026, the metaverse is dominating all conversations through a variety of questions it poses. In a survey of over 1,000 U.S. Americans, Coupon Follow identified key shopping trends as well as worries and hopes that come along with entering the metaverse. When it comes to fears associated with the metaverse, scams take the lead, 52%, followed by identity theft, 39%, and privacy issues at 38%. Not far from the top three stands a quite interestingly worry cited as detachment from reality, with people concerned about the prospect of fully losing themselves in the digital world. See more at Cyber News. Ex-CIA hacker convicted of WikiLeaks data crime. A former CIA designer of hacking tools has been found guilty of leaking thousands of confidential files by a federal court in New York, 2 years after the original case against him was dropped. Joshua Schulte, 33, said by prosecutors to be a disgruntled employee bearing a grudge, sent the agency's most highly prized hacking toolkit, known as Vault 7, to WikiLeaks, whose founder, Julian Assange, faces extradition to the U.S. The 2017 incident, which saw 8,761 documents leaked, was regarded by the CIA as one of the worst losses of classified information ever in its history. On July 13th, a new jury convicted Schulte of 8 charges of espionage, each of which carries a sentence of up to 10 years. Schulte was aware that the collateral damage of his retribution could pose an extraordinary threat to the nation if made public, said U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, adding that his exposure of the hacking tools rendered them essentially useless. Read more at Cyber News. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and get involved. Microsoft Teams settings leave government officials open to cyber attacks. Relying on default settings on Microsoft Teams leaves users open to threats from external domains. Misconfiguration can prove perilous to high-value targets. Microsoft Teams has over 270 million active monthly users, with government institutions using the software in the US, UK, Netherlands, Germany, Lithuania, and other countries at varying levels. Cybersecurity researcher Darius Povilaitis has discovered that relying on the default MS Teams settings can leave high-value users vulnerable to social engineering attacks. Attackers could create group chats with state officials masquerading as their bosses and observing whether they are online. We saw that attack could rather convincingly impersonate a high-ranking state official and possibly strike up a conversation, fooling victims into believing they're discussing sensitive topics with a superior. Skilled attackers could do a lot of harm with this capability, Povolitis told Cyber News. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Focus mode. What is it? Focus mode is a tool for eliminating distractions. It's similar to, but not the same as, Do Not Disturb. But it's very easy to set up. Let me show you how that's done. Start by selecting Settings. Once that's opened, scroll down until you see Digital, Well-being, and Parental Controls, and select it. Once that opens up, go down to Focus Mode and select it. And in here, you can select all the distracting apps. Your clock, my Wise Beta app, Google, and, well, there are 153 other apps. And you can hit the down arrow and you can see all of those and then individually select which of these apps are disturbing your focus and tell them to shut up. Plain and simple. Right now, because I'm doing lots of work with Wise Beta, I'm getting quite a few messages from Beta, and I'm busy doing something else. I don't want to see those interruptions. So for right now, I'm going to select Wise Beta, and I'm going to select Turn On Now. You can also select Focus Mode on a schedule, which of course is not something I'm going to be doing right now. Focus Mode is now on, and distracting apps are not going to be bothering me. So now I can go ahead and do my work, and when I'm ready to be interrupted again, I don't need to focus. At that point, I'll simply turn it off. And at that time, the app will again notify me when it's scheduled to send me a notice. That's how easy it is to set up Focus Mode and for you to actually be able to concentrate on something without interruptions. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope that helps.
Well, thanks, Bob. That's good. I'm going to try that. I'm certainly those annoying notifications. That's that's really good. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for doing that. That's very interesting. All right. I have a little Google Photos tip I want to show everyone. And good day. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Did you know you can now access screenshots on Google Photos via the home screen? Yes. Google Photos has a new shortcut that allows users to access screenshots directly from the home screen. The app's latest version on Android now lets users open the screenshot folder directly from their phone's home screen. The new update is part of Google's efforts to make the app much easier to navigate than it has in the earlier days. Now, as someone who makes a lot of videos, I use screenshots on my Android phone all the time. And I transfer them over to my PC where I do incorporate them into my video editing software. So it is really important that this occurs quickly and easily. This new feature is a big time saver, and I want to show you how to do this on my Pixel 6 phone. It's running Android 12, and the version of Google Photos you'll need is 5.97. So let's have a look how this works. I'm going to show you the new feature. So there are two ways to do a screen capture. In this demonstration, I'll be pushing the power button and the down button on the volume control. So it's power and volume down. And if you looked at the screen, you would have seen, there it is right there, the screen capture. So here we are. We're going to do a screenshot of my Ring doorbell app. Watch as I swipe up from the bottom to the top with the app, and that gives us an option of doing a screenshot without actually pushing a button. We're going to click screenshot, and there it does. It takes the screenshot, and we can do that without pressing any buttons. From there, of course, we can do all the usual things. We can edit it. If we click the edit button, then we can certainly change what we want as far as the area. We can bring the slider down here and this up. And now we can, of course, add text to it. Say this is a test. We can certainly we can email this by clicking the little share button, click email, and there we are. We're going to email it to my house. So we can either do a screenshot by pushing buttons or by swiping the app up, as I've just shown you. But once we find the screenshot, as I mentioned before, we can edit it. So in this particular situation, we can add a label to it, and we're going to call it this as a test. This is a screenshot. And there we have it. We can either do a circle on this. We can circle it, put a note there to watch this, or we can actually color areas in. You'll see us coloring a blue color there, or we can indeed erase things. So once we have taken the screenshot, we have to find it. So we're going to look in Google Photos. We're going to open the Google Photos folder and select Google Photos. And we're going to click Google Photos and open it up and come down to the bottom right-hand corner where you'll see Library. Once we click Library, Folder, we're going to open that. We'll open the Ring screenshot, and here it is. Let's have a look. Now the new feature added makes it much easier to find your screenshots. Let me open Google Photos folder, and now watch, I'm going to long press on the Google Photos icon. I'm going to long press on it. It's going to open up another menu. If I click on Screenshot, this is going to take me right to my screenshots. Pretty cool, eh? There it is, our front door Ring doorbell screenshot. Let's go back. It even gets better. What we're going to do now is I'm going to open the same folder, and I'm going to long press Google Photos, and it's going to create a widget. And then we're going to go to Screenshot and long press it. Now if you look behind my finger there, you'll see there's a little icon I'm dragging along, and I'm going to drop it right on top of my Google Photos folder. Now let's have a look and see what happens. Now we have a screenshot widget. So I don't even have to, I can just click on this and it will take me right to the screenshots. I don't have to open Google Photos. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look at one more time. We're going to bring it up, and here is the screenshot widget. I just, here it is right here. I come down and I can open this up, and it will take me right to the screenshots. All right, a handy new feature in Google Photos. I would certainly recommend you, if you are using screenshots, you're using them on a regular basis. That's a really fast way now to find them. All right, let's move on now to Mike's presentation. I'm just going to share the screen, and let's see what Mike has to say about solar energy.
Hi, I'm Mike Ungerman of the Central Florida Computer Society. In parts 1 and 2 of this series, we looked at the basics of what constitutes a solar voltaic system and how to research your home's present energy efficiency. In this third presentation, we'll investigate the potential for a solar voltaic system to provide solar energy for your home. This is a slide we've seen in previous presentations. The focus now is on the actual production of solar energy on your own property, which influences all of the other benefits of owning a solar PV system. It sometimes helps to see the big picture as we delve into the details of getting to our end goals. To that end, this short video is a good overview of what is involved in installing a complete solar PV system on an individual home. So before one makes the big step of acquiring that expensive solar PV system we just saw, you should have a good idea how well that system will perform for your home. How much of the sun's energy is actually available to the surface or surfaces that you will install the system on, and what tools are available to help you make this assessment. Listed on this slide are two of many free tools that can start your investigation on the potential for producing solar energy. They can help you figure out where to place your solar panels, how many panels will be required, and the potential cost for the complete system based on what you have calculated. Let's take a look at each of these in turn. First off is Google's Project Sunroof. Project Sunroof will let you search for your home, personalize your solar analysis, compare finance options, and provide a customized savings estimate. They also have the ability to do an area-wide solar potential search. So let's take a look at my address. Here in Florida. And it's already previously done a search. This is my home. We zoom in. It's not showing the solar system that's already on there, which you see behind me on this screen. So it's basically doing a calculation of where the sun is and what the potential is for sunlight per year, how many square feet are available for solar panels. I've actually installed two phases of solar energy. One on the south facing roof, which you can see is in the bright yellow, and one set of panels, which is on the eastern facing roof, which gets the morning sun and into the early afternoon. They're telling me that they're saying, what's your average monthly electric bill? So if I start off with what it was way back when, around 400, you can see they're telling me that I really should have about 26.3 kilowatts worth of solar panels. And it gives you the environmental impact savings, tells me if I purchase something like this up front, based on average prices, it'd be about $58,000. If, on the other hand, I take a look at what my current bill is, let's see if I can get it down. Let's just say $100. If I wish to completely offset that remaining $100 on my bill that we discussed in our last presentation, I could do about 6.3 kilowatts of additional solar. And if I were to do that, I'd probably pick this south-facing roof and this west-facing roof for the afternoon. The PV watts calculator can give you an energy production cost of energy grid. Allows you to take a look at estimates and the performance of potential PV installations. Again, I've put my address in. We get a map that basically says this area is where my home is located. We can zoom in on it. And this is the data that they have the National Solar Radiation Database information on. And let's take that 6 kilowatt addition. If I were going to put that on there, let's just say 7 kilowatts. And roof mounted. And I'm going to take an average of 135 degrees, which is southeast. And let's see, okay, I could draw the system, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the search. So they're going to tell me that with this additional, I'm going to save another 10,092 kilowatt hours per year. It's telling me which months I'm going to get the best solar production. You can see pretty much in the May area, March, April, May, generally, and that's my experience based on how open the skies are. So they're basically going through and showing you the additional information. So this is just a good site to take a look at to get an idea of what your overall wattage can do for you. One item that I don't have annotated on the slides is the solar federal tax credit, which is available from the energy.gov website. And the solar energy tax credit is available for 26% tax credit for systems installed in 2020 through 2022, which would be this year, and then 22% for next year. And expires starting in 2024 unless Congress renews it, and the chances are that it will be extended, but it's something that if you're going to make the decision, you may want to take advantage at the present time. So now if you're pretty sure you want to go the solar PV route for your home, you've seen some of the tools that help you along your way. Many more resources are available on the internet, including websites and YouTube videos. We've seen a couple of those today. One note of caution though, some of the sites you might have the ulterior motivation of having you make a commitment to a particular solar installer or link you to a service that provides your information to solar installers who will start calling you or emailing you. So due diligence is recommended. And so our next presentation in this series will address just that issue, how to purchase your solar.
Thank you, Mike. That was great. Good. We look forward to more information. This is wetting our whistle and getting us all excited. So thanks a lot for doing that.
I'll stick around if anybody has any questions during the.
Yes, of course. Steve, if you want to hold your question until the Q&A, then we'll, I'm sure Mike will be sticking around to answer your questions. So it's a good topic. Thank you for doing it. Hewie, before we get to Bob's flip the silence, we are waiting to find out about Windows 10 and 11 accessing special symbols. do you want to tell us what's that all about?
Windows 10 and 11 access special symbols quickly. I'm Hewie Poplock. How do you put those fun little icons in your text when typing in Windows? Recently, I did an article on using ASCII characters. To insert an ASCII character, press and hold down the Alt key while typing the character code. For example, to insert a degree symbol, you press and hold down the Alt while typing 0176 on the numeric keypad. You must use the numeric keypad to type the numbers and not the keyboard. Make sure that the numlock key is on if your keyboard requires it to type the numbers on the numeric keypad. Here are some of the symbols. To get the copyright symbol, it's Alt plus the 0169. The cents is Alt 0162. For the degree, it could be Alt 0176 or Alt 0186. There is another way in which you can do that, and that's going to the Windows tools in your menu and then going to character map. When you open up the character map, you will get this. You can choose which symbol you want, highlight it, you hit the select button, it copies it, and then you can paste it into your document. But we live in an emoji world now. So how do you put those fun little icons in your text when typing in Windows? The pop-up keyboard. It's typically meant for use when in tablet mode, but it's easy to access even when you're using Windows 10 or 11 with a regular keyboard. In Windows 10, you right-click the taskbar in a blank area and select Show Touch Keyboard button. An icon of a little keyboard will appear next to the clock in the taskbar. You tap at any time with the mouse cursor to bring up the on-screen keyboard. Tap any key on your keyboard to dismiss it from the screen. Click the extra keyboard icon on the top left to access various layout options, including a split keyboard and a stylus pad. For Windows 11 users, right-click the taskbar to access taskbar settings. Toggle on the touch keyboard to get a permanent keyboard icon in the system tray. So let's do it. The touch keyboard is normally used with a tablet or touch screen, but if you have neither, you can still use that touch keyboard. Let's set it up on my Windows 11 machine. First, what we're going to do is you right mouse click anywhere in a blank spot on the taskbar and you get taskbar settings. When you click that, you will get the settings for your taskbar. You want to know where it says touch keyboard. You want to turn that on. As soon as you do, you will see down in the tray a little keyboard, and that's what we're going to be using. So we've turned it on. If it's already there, then you don't have to turn it on, obviously. Before we examine the touch keyboard, let's look at a couple of examples of how to use it. Then you'll have a better idea as we examine the keyboard what you might do with it. So let's take a look. We're now in a Google Doc, and if I type the temp in Alaska is 57, and we want to say degrees Fahrenheit. So what we do is we come down to the touch keyboard, we click this little icon here, and then we find the icon for the symbols, and we find degrees Fahrenheit. Put that in, bingo, it's in our document. As soon as we hit a key on our keyboard, the touch keypad goes away. So we'll open it again, we'll come up here. This time we're going to add an emoji and saying, and let's put another emoji in there as well. We can look at many emojis. We can choose any one we want. And let's take this and this and this one. Click the space bar. That keyboard goes away. Now, the one thing that you can do is we can highlight all of this. It's a font of 12. Let's go ahead and make it 60. And it enlarges all of it. Now, besides your word processor, let's do something on Facebook. So we can say temperature here is 87 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to come down here. Again, we're going to click on this. We're going to come here to the symbols and hit enter. We're on the next line and say this is, and we'll come down here again. Click, 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 and say it's copyrighted. One more. We'll say it's also registered. Spacebar, it goes away. It's put both of those in there. We tell it to post that it's there. Let's examine our keyboard a little more closely. And to do that, I opened up Notepad, and I have it set for a font of 48, so you'll be able to see what I'm typing. So let's open up the keyboard, and we can use it as a keyboard. So I could type in it's much slower than using your fingers. You still can do it, so you don't have to leave the keyboard. Now, again, I mentioned you click this little button up here, and when you do, you get several choices. Let's take them one at a time. First, we can look at emojis. And it puts a good number of emojis up there, but you'll see you get smiley faces and animals. You get people. It's celebrations and other items, food, transportation, and hearts. But you can put other items here. I also added more emojis to give you some examples. Make sure that you understand that this is a full keyboard and use it as a keyboard. However, you're going to be clicking using your mouse. Unless it's a touch screen, then you can be using your fingers. I thank you for watching. Windows 10 and 11, access special symbols quickly. I'm Hewie Poplock. There you go.
Hey, I'm going to use that. That's great. That's really good. Thank you for doing that, Hewie. Now, Bob, are you ready to roll?
It's always terrible that when you're in the middle of something important and your phone starts to ring. That's annoying, especially since there's an easy way to end those unexpected phone calls. Let me show you how that's done. What we're going to use is something called Flip to Silence, which is part of the Google Phone app. If you have a Pixel phone, that's standard. That is what you use, is the Google Phone app. And you can very easily set up Flip to Shh. It mutes calls and enables Do Not Disturb when the phone is face down. On non-Pixel phones, the feature is called Flip to Silence, but it only mutes incoming calls. I'm going to show you on a Pixel phone how to set this up. Start by opening up Phone by Google, which is this icon down here, and then click on the three-dot menu. Top right, select Settings, and then scroll down to something that's called Flip to Shh, all the way down at the bottom. Select it, so turn it on, and as it says here, to turn on Do Not Disturb, place your phone face down on a flat surface. You'll feel a subtle vibration when Do Not Disturb turns on. So the next time you're in a Zoom meeting, make sure your phone is easily accessible, and if it should ring, just place it upside down on a flat surface to end that phone call. No fumbling for buttons. Upside down on a flat surface turns that phone off. Just a quick, easy way to make sure your important functions are not interrupted by a phone call. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope that helps.
It's a good one. That's great. I'm going to use that one too. That's so annoying when you get phone calls right in the middle of a Zoom meeting.
I
So-
got another tip that'll make Hewie's thing a little bit easier.
Oh,
when we
great.
finish
Well, we
it.
look we look forward to that. Thanks, Bob. Now, I want to talk today a little bit about superstars, and I have a personal superstar who I have made a little video about, and he's here today, and so hopefully everyone will enjoy this. Let's watch the video. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Today I want to talk about a TikTok superstar right from our own staff here at Tech for Senior. Yes, a big superstar on TikTok. Let's find out who it is and how this occurred. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we make videos for seniors. If you want to be notified when a new video comes out, click the subscribe and that little bell, and we'll send you a notification when we make a new video. Let's talk about our TikTok superstar. Well, of course, all of you are going to say, congratulations, Ron, you did it. Well, I don't even have a TikTok account. You'd say, well, then Hewie did it, or Bob did it, or Ray did it, or Bill did it. But no, you'd all be wrong. Our TikTok superstar is ℎ𝕧𝕬𝕠𝕟. Yes, Dewey, of course, has always been my superstar. Superstars do lots of things, like as vice president of our club, congratulating our past president, Carol Foker, or taking one of the many courses offered by our club, or teaching courses at our club, or enjoying some oranges picked from my former house in Arizona. At 88 years old, Dewey thrilled us with his technology reports each week at Tech for Senior. A few months ago, he retired. I still get many comments on the videos that he produced over the past 2 years. And 2 weeks ago, I dropped Dewey a note and said, hey, this is a great comment that we got on this video you made. He said, well, you might think I've been just sitting on the you-know-what, not doing very much, but I'm now a TikTok superstar. I said, what? And he said, yep, and I'm going to play you the video in a minute that propelled him to stardom. So Dewey and Joanne have been married for many years and are inseparable. What you'll see in this video is their home in Golden Valley, Minnesota. You'll see their house, and Joanne has to go on a trip, and she must leave Dewey for a few days and take an airplane trip to another location. So the video is of Joanne saying goodbye to Dewey. Now what's happened here is you'll see Dewey is standing in the front porch of their house. He's waving goodbye to Joanne. Joanne is actually in the car as it's backing out of the driveway, and Joanne is filming Dewey as he's waving goodbye, but someone is filming Joanne. And let's watch the video and see what happens.
I'm taking a picture of him, Troy. Could you stop just a second? Just a second. Love you. Bye.
Well, you guys are acting like you've never been apart or something.
It's terrible. It's terrible, Troy. You're too cute.
All right. Interesting video and sort of a heartwarming video, right? Folks, that's been viewed over 16.5 million times on TikTok. 16.5 million times. Let's look at it again.
I'm taking a picture of him, Troy. Could you stop just a second? Just a second. Love you. Bye.
Well, you guys are acting like you've never been apart or something.
It's terrible. It's terrible, Troy. You're too cute.
So that's our TikTok superstar, ℎ𝕧𝕬𝕠𝕟. Well done, Dewey. We're waiting for your next adventure. ℎ𝕧𝕬𝕠𝕟, everyone's superstar. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Remember that little subscribe and bell. If you click that bell, and we'll notify you when we make a new video. Have a great day until we see you again. So,
I hope they monetized that video.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so welcome. I think Dewey's here. He's been watching with us, so thank you for I got his permission to do this before I did it, so it's a fun thing that we can do. Now, before we get to Ray's segment, I just want to say goodbye to all our friends over on YouTube. We have to say goodbye, and we'll be stopping the feed. If you want to pop over here, we still have lots of space for you. You can participate in the Q&A. Don't forget the premiere service. You'll certainly want to watch personal air conditioners, and we will. So goodbye. So I'm just going to sign off now. Ray, I think there's a couple of comments here. I'm going to let Bob and Dewey say something before we get on with your section. I think we've got lots of time. Is that okay?
Perfect. Go right ahead.
Okay, Bob, go ahead. You had something to say?
Yes. If you want to get to those special characters and the emojis a lot faster in Windows 11, just do the key combination of the Windows key and the period key. Put those two together, and you'll wind up with something popping up that gives you access to all those things. Special characters, emojis, all the other things that you saw. That's part of the new additions into Windows 11 shortcut keys.
Thanks, Bob. Dewey, did you have a word of wisdom for us before you move on into your next adventure?
Well, what I was just going to say is that if there are any people who aren't into TikTok, I'm not. Anyone who is into TikTok, I posted in the chat the address for finding all of the 10 videos that our daughter has done. I don't believe it, but it's incredible. But you can check it.
All right. Keep us posted on your next adventure, right? And if you become famous again, let us know, okay? All right. Okay. Ray, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Ron, for having me follow that. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. You really put me in some position, my friend. Thank you.
You're always got a good one for us. I'm sure you'll wow us today.
I don't know. That's a tough, as I said, tough one to follow. All right, here we go. Age is only a number, at least for some of us. So as we look at that picture, you may want to guess who those two gentlemen are, but I'll tell you now. And this, I want to thank my colleague here, Hewie. Last week, he brought to my attention the Facebook page of longtime New York radio DJ Bruce Morrow, or the moniker we all know him by, Cousin Brucey. Now, Hewie was surprised to learn that not only was Morrow still alive, age of 86, but he was continuing with his radio broadcasts. And the Facebook page is, for those of you that are interested, it's titled Cousin Brucey's Official Friendship Page, and it gives information about live upcoming shows he continues to host, as well as current interviews with recording stars of the past. Now, to give you an idea of how long Bruce Morrow has been broadcasting, he started in 1909 on WINS Radio in New York City, then moved over to WABC Radio. There he was for 13 years, and then he moved to another New York station, WNBC. These were dramatic years for AM radio. Now, this was, of course, long before talk radio took over this broadcast band. When you consider all the changes that took place in pop music culture during that time. More recently, he was on Sirius XM radio, and since 2020 has hosted a Saturday night rock and roll party streaming on www.wabcradio.com. So when not broadcasting, Bruce Morrow is hosting live stage shows with artists from decades earlier. As recently as last month, on June 9th, in New Jersey, there was a free, I emphasize the word free, concert presented by the Garden State Arts Foundation, which featured many oldies musical acts, including Little Anthony and the Imperials. Now, Morrow introduced Anthony Bourdain as a great dramatist and great star who has the lock and key to our hearts and souls. Now, reports say that after the two talked about getting on in years, Anthony responded by saying, "My hair is white, but I don't sing with my hair." Now, I'm aware of the relationship between Bruce and Anthony going back to at least 1960, as I have in my vinyl collection a compilation LP issued that year where the liner notes were written by Morrow, with 3 out of the 15 songs by Little Anthony and the Imperials. Now, while this group is noted for their ballads, they had one hit, which was up-tempo, with the unusual title of Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Bop. In the chat box, I'll include links to them performing this song in 1960, and then in 2019, almost 60 years later. But now, through the magic of video editing, here is a glimpse of what I'm going to call Then and Now. Then and Now, almost 60 years. So many of the vocal group artists from that era have passed on. Anthony Bourdain is one of the few, not only still alive, but still performing.
Amazing. You did well. Thanks, Ray. As it heats up in the house today, I have just put on my personal air conditioner. So if you want to know more about this, don't forget, today on our premiere service, we'll be talking about personal air conditioners. Thanks everyone for coming. It's top of the hour and we're going to open it up as for question and answer. Before we do that, don't forget our Thursday show, which will be Tech for Senior live at 9 o'clock. Well, it depends what time zone you're in. And also an hour later, learning Chromebooks. So if you are interested in Chromebook, you have a Chromebook, or you want to just talk about Chromebooks, come and participate in the session. So I'm going to open it up now to Q&A. If you have a question for anything we talked about today, please put your hand up and that'll bring you right up to the top and then we can acknowledge you. And the panel is all here waiting to ask you, to answer your questions. Carl, go ahead.
Hey, do you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Question for Ray. It was my impression that the lead singer, I don't know the names, I already listened to him too because that was my era, but in 1960, he had a much prominent role and his voice was more prominent. Not so in the 2019 reaction.
Isn't that true for all of us?
Well, I was noticing the difference in his weight. You know, he was a thin young guy, but when I look in the mirror, I still think I'm 19.
Usually that happens before we look in the mirror.
Well,
thanks, Carl.
I look in the mirror and say, who is that guy?
Well, that was just an observation. I was disappointed he wasn't, it seemed like his mic gain should have been up higher for, you know, his, compared to what he did the first time in 1960.
I would give him a break, Carl. He's 81 years old, and the fact that he's still on the stage performing, I think is great.
I think so. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for Mike about the solar panels. Does it make the house cooler?
What do you mean by cooler?
Well, the sun energy is being absorbed by the panels, right? So there should be less heat going into the house.
Oh, shading the roof.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, there's less energy, there's less heat being transferred into the attic, yes. But the panels themselves being black will certainly heat up. And in your selection of equipment, you want to take a close look at what the panel's operating range is in degrees Fahrenheit to make sure you're going to be well within that
So it
range.
won't really have much effect on the air conditioning that you need then.
Depends on how good your attic insulation is.
Yeah, question for Mike. Is there a I'm impressed with what Google has done with the software to help in this process. Is there an application that tells you the benefit of optimizing the panel orientation versus the cost to do that?
Yes, the second application that I showed you allowed for the the degrees of azimuth and angle of elevation. I think it said 20 degrees angle. I don't really know what the angle of my roof is. As I look at my background, it's in the picture now. I think I'm probably have a higher pitch on my roof than 20 degrees. So that's not something I can change, although they can change the angle of the rack. And in part that they will try to optimize that when they install it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Bob.
Drew King in the chat asked, did someone mention that ℎ𝕠𝕟 is changing its name? And yes, I did. It is changing its name to Assyrian.
Which is something I'll never remember.
Neither will I, but I'm sure that if you do a search for ℎ𝕠𝕟, it will always go back
You'll always
to
find
the
it. That's
actual
right.
correct.
Yeah.
If they don't cross-reference it, they're making a heck of a big mistake.
I can't believe the corporate decision on that one. That's to me was not too good. Anyway, what do I know? Go ahead, Hewie.
I think I was going to say, I think Assurant is Assurant must have bought that company out, because that's another a warranty.
Assyrian is an insurance company. Many of us have purchased protection for devices.
Right. It's a warranty.
Correct.
Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, a question for Bob. I just saw in the local news a glimpse. I didn't get the whole story about a weakness in DNA research. I think it was with one particular search group, 123 or something. You know anything about that, Bob? That it is compromised, whatever they're doing.
I have said long ago, unless you really have a reason to use one of those services, don't give your DNA to anyone. DNA, that's about giving up everything about you, okay? And if you want to do it just to find out who might be a relative, well, if that's to you important, go ahead. But realize that once you give up that information, they share it. It's not private, and they get breached. So do that at your own risk, and you're risking a lot when you share your DNA.
Yeah, well, that's a double-edged sword.
Right.
People found out their father is their uncle too, so there's skeletons in the closet. But I have done it to several places, so I'm not that concerned.
Thanks. Hewie, go ahead.
Yeah, talking about companies changing names, back before Amazon was dealing with electronics and so on, they were a bookseller, and there was another company that I used. I was an IT manager for a company, and we used to purchase everything from a company called buy.com, BUI.com, which I thought was a great name. Well, they were sold, and the company that took them over changed their name. They changed the name of buy.com to Rakuten. Rakuten is still advertising. Buy.com is long gone, and I can never remember Rakuten, and I just don't use them. Where if it was still buy.com, I probably would.
Yeah. Greg. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Getting back to this DNA stuff, between Christmas and New Year's, I teach a 40-hour class. And when I was down at Mesa, I used to fly home and teach it. The group of people that I teach it to are well drillers, and there's anywhere from 35 to 70 people in the class. And I told them that I did my DNA. And the next year, 14 of those people were arrested. As Bob said, they interface with other groups like the FBI. And if you've got a checkered past, you're going to go bye-bye.
Thanks, Greg. Well, yes, indeed. I think you got to be very cautious. In fact, any of us watching crime shows on television today often see the results of that, and of course, there's some interesting, stuff on TV about this now. So you're right. It's helping solve crime. So I guess if you have a checkered past, you sure don't want to get your DNA done, right?
I just want to add a comment to that. Ancestry and My Heritage claim they do not share it, but we people who have done it, you can share it to a public site, which I have done. I'm not concerned about my past so far, but that's how they do it. The searchers, the DNA genealogists, as you said, they've solved a lot of crime, but it's not easy. It's usually a distant relative, and you have to do a lot of, searching to find out who they're related to that has the DNA, the original person. But at any rate, it's, from my understanding, it's only from the site they use is the one that is the public DNA site that people willingly give their DNA to, besides Ancestry.
Thanks a lot. Greg, did you have another question, or did you just have your hand up? Okay, no
No,
question.
I thought I'd put my hand down.
Okay. All right. No other. Do we have any other questions for our learned panel today? All right. Well, listen, I want to thank everyone for coming today. It's been a lot of fun. I think it's been a great show. Thank you for your participation. Don't forget our premiere service at hour. And don't forget, on Thursday, we have a busy day with our Tech for Senior Live and learning Chromebooks, right, Hewie?
That's right. We'll be there.
We'll be
Hope you
there
will.
and lots of fun. And otherwise, we will see everybody back next week. And next week, Ray is going to talk about home theater, home automation. What was
Let's call it home entertainment systems.
home entertainment systems? Yeah. So this can be a good one. So he'll be talking about that next week. So we'll see you everyone next Monday. It's a long weekend, isn't it? Is next Monday a long weekend?
No, with Labor Day weekend, you're thinking of maybe that's next weekend.
The following week, yeah, next Monday. Isn't next Monday the whole week?
No, it'd be September.
Oh, September.
Not
Okay.
August.
Okay. You know, when you're
Wow.
retired, every day's a holiday. What the heck, right? Okay. See everybody in another few days or whenever. Okay.
Stay
Bye-bye.
out of the sun.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.